Hello guys. So in the previous session we created table maintenance generator and how to we have seen how to regenerate the table maintenance screen when there is a change in the table. Okay. And what else we did? We created a transaction code for table maintenance generator, that is a parameter transaction. And also we created structures, right? Can we store data in the structures?
No, sir.
No. So structures are only logical. They can't store any data permanently. Okay. We can group the fields. We can group the relevant fields and reuse in tables or in other structures. We can also use structures in programs to define the work areas and internal tables. Okay. And you are familiar with data elements, domains, foreign keys, and value tables, primary keys, and the table creation and the technical settings, right? So today we'll continue with our programs, right? So in the beginning we have created some sample programs. So from today onwards we'll continue with the programs and we'll try to use the tables and its data in our programs. Okay, we'll start from the basics, right? Let me create a simple program. What is the transaction code to create the program?
SC38.
SC38.
SC38. Whenever you hear a word program, most of the guys is to stay away. We don't like programs or programming. Okay. So as I said in the beginning, this is not as complex as the other programming languages like Java. We still call this as a programming, but this is not complicated programming. It is very easy to understand. It's a fourth generation programming language. All the syntaxes are familiar, like your real world words, right? First letter should be Z to create a custom program. Create. This is the program title. Whenever user executes the program, it will display as the title of the program. So what type of the program we need to create? Executable program.
Executable.
So it will execute independently. It can accept the input and return the output. Okay. So we'll see the remaining types later. Save. Here what you need to select? Package. So in which package you want to save this program? In which location or in which folder you want to save this program, right? If you save it in the local package, can you move this program to test environment or test server? If you save it in the local object or local package,
No, sir.
no, we cannot move. These are local to this development server. We cannot move these changes to test system for testing and then to production system, right? When you save it in the local object, where you need to save in the projects when you are working on the projects, a proper package name. This will be provided by your lead or your manager, someone in the project. Okay. So in which package you need to select? For example, you are creating a ABAP program related to sales and sales module, sales related developments. You will have a specific package for that. You are creating a program for finance related objects, then you will be having a specific package maintained for that finance related objects. Similarly, in every project, they maintain multiple packages for different developments. Okay, you need to ask which package I need to use for which development. Okay, for reports, is there any separate package I need to use? Like that, you have to check. Okay, for example, let me select one package. I'll search, I don't know. Most probably they might be custom packages, starts with Z or Y. I'll find some packages start with the starting name as Z. I'll assign a package name today instead of saving it in local. So you can see the difference. There are a lot of packages created by other students, right? There are a lot of packages available. So let me select one package. So let me select this. Click on save. Now our program will save in this package, specific package. Now observe the difference. What will happen when we assign it to the package? It is very important. Click on save. What it is asking?
Request.
Workbench request. Workbench request means it is asking for a transport request, which is it is asking for a transport request, which is helpful to move this program from development to test system,
Test system.
right? So here it is not showing any request. What we can do, we have two alternatives here. You can create your own transport request for this development. You can create your own transport request for this development, or you can select any of the existing transport requests already created. Okay, so you can create your own transport request for this program, or you can add this program to any of the existing transport requests. They are already created. Okay, for now I'm creating a new transport request. Create transport request. Create. This is just a description. Provide the description. We always provide some meaningful description, right? Every project will follow some rules to provide short description, and that is not like they are like naming conventions, right? They are like naming conventions. So whenever we joined in the project, we need to check what is the naming convention they are following to maintain the description. You can type anything, it will accept, right? But you should always, it is always recommended to maintain proper naming convention. For example, like this task, you are creating the program for some task 100. I'll maintain like this. SD, I'm assuming it is related to sales module, right? First program, like this. Okay, click on save. You can provide anything here. Okay, but I am following some proper naming. Okay, that's it. Click on save. Just provide the description and click on save. In few projects you may need to select the project, but that is optional. Don't worry about it. Just provide the description, save it. A transport request is created. A transport request is created. This is the transport request which we use to move the objects or developments from development environment to which environment? Production or test?
Test.
Test.
Test. And then once the testing is completed in test environment, we move same transport request to which environment?
Production.
Production environment. Okay. Now we transported this program to test environment. There is some issue in the test environment. Your program is not working properly. Testing team did all the testings. They found that your program is not working properly. What is the next step? Again,
And back,
Return
back,
to
back to
development.
development.
To developer.
you don't need to send it back. You don't need to send it back because your program is already there in development system, right? You don't need to send it back or anything. Just go to the development system, change the program, fix the errors, and activate the program. Then it will ask for one more transport request next time, right? Then again same process. Apply that to test system. Then testing team will test the program with your new changes, with your fixes, right? And again they found a issue. Again they found one more issue. Then what is the next step? Again go to the developer. As a developer, again you go to the development system, open your program, check the program, fix the issue. When you save the program, what it will ask? Again one more transport request, right? And release the transport request to test. So this process will continue until your development and testing is completed. Every time, whenever there is a change, it will ask for new transport request until you did not apply the program to the test system. It won't ask for any. It won't ask for a second transport request. Okay. Once you applied the program to the test system and again you are doing the change, it will ask for second transport request. Okay.
Yes,
As
sir.
long as program is still in development system, it will ask for only one transport request, and whatever the changes you do, all will be saved in that transport request only. Once you released it to the test system and again you are doing the changes, it will ask for another transport
Another.
request. Always remember, for example, you are working on a development, you are working on an object. That object contains one program, two tables, and 10 data elements and domains, right? Whenever you create any object, it is going to ask the package name, right? If you create the domain, data element, table, or anything,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
once you assign the package, it will ask for a transport request. Now tell me, when you are creating a program, you assigned one transport request. And again, you are creating a table, it is asking for transport request. So do you need to create a new transport request, or you can add it to the existing transport request?
We can add it exits transport.
We can add it to the existing transport request because all these objects are part of same development.
Both. Yes, sir.
The requirement is same, but you for the same requirement you are creating a program, you are creating one table, you are creating data elements and domains, but the application is same, the requirement is same, right? The functionality is same. In this case, we don't save individual objects in individual transport requests, right? For example, your
Yes, sir.
table contains 10 fields. So for 10 fields, you need to create data elements and domains, right? 10 data elements and 10 domains, 20 objects total. Now, you should assign all the 10 data elements and 10 domains to one single transport request. You should not create separate transport request for individual objects, okay? Because all these part of same functionality, okay? It will accept even if you want to assign, you can assign it to the individual transport request. Then how many transport requests you need to create for a table, for a single table?
One.
For example, there are 10 fields in the table. You are going to create 10 domains and 10 data elements, total 20 objects, and including table, 21 objects. Now, if you create a separate transport request for one each domain and data element, you need to create how many transport requests? 21. Please mute.
21.
21 transport requests you need to create. We should not do that. Okay? We should create a single transport request for single functionality, but sometimes we create multiple also, like one or two, but not, we don't create one transport request for one object. Okay? It will accept you to create, but you should not create because it will, like you're going to create number of transport requests. It will be difficult to maintain all those transport requests. Okay? And it is difficult to apply all the changes to test system. Okay? Now click on continue. We selected the transport request, click on continue. Now your program is transportable. Your program is transportable to the test system, right? Clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay, there is another scenario. There is another scenario. Please observe carefully. So in your project, your lead asked you to create a program. Your lead asked you to create a program. That is for some POC. POC means some kind of testing, right? But that functionality is not yet approved. That functionality is not yet approved. But your lead asked you to create some sample program just to test it. Is it working or not? Okay. So then which package you need to select for such kind of requirements? So usually we select local objects because that's not the actual program. We are just creating for our practice purpose or for our testing purpose, right? So let's assume I created that program in local object. Okay. After some time, your lead is accepted that program. He said that, okay, this program is fine. We can transport it to test system. Now, can we transport that local object program to test system?
No, sir.
No, right? Since we saved it in the local object. Then what is the alternatives we have to move that program to the test system or to move that local package program to a actual package? Let me show you. This is common for anything like programs, data dictionary objects like tables. So I'm creating a program to show how to change the package. This is common for all like data dictionary objects, domains and data elements. Okay, we need to select type of the program, executable, save. I'm not saving it in the package. I'm not saving it in the actual package. Where I'm saving? I'm saving it in the local object. Saved it and I created some functionality. Activated it and execute the program. I got the program. Now my requirement is to change the package name. Where can you check package name? Here we have two options. Here instead of source code, select attributes. Display.
Attributes.
In attributes, what you can see, who created the program, when it is created, who changed it recently, when it is changed, right? Status of the program and package, right? Can we change the package? It is not allowing, right, to change the package.
Yes,
It's grayed out.
sir.
It's grayed out. Now go to the source code. Change the program. Now how to change the package from a local object to actual package so that we can create the transport request. Go to, click on go to menu and please observe carefully. It's a very important interview question. Object dictionary entry. Click on object dictionary entry. It will display this. Now click on change. You have an option to change the package, right? Remove the $TMP. What is $TMP? Local package, temporary package, local package. $TMP is nothing but local package. Whenever you select local package, in which package it's going to save? $TMP. That is the package name. Okay. The button name is local package, but what is the actual package name? $TMP. That is the local object. Now assign it to the proper package name. Provide the proper package and click on save. Then it is asking for transport request, right? So you can save this program in the existing transport request created earlier, or you can create your own transport request. Okay, clear? Is everyone clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now I am saving in the
Yes, sir.
existing transport request because I am assuming that this program is also part of same functionality related to this task number 100. That's why I am saving in the same transport request. Activate the program. That's it. This is how we can change the package. Okay, everyone clear, right? Now, okay, I've created a program. Now I wanted to implement a functionality to print uh, some numbers, some output, right? So I want to take some number range. I want to take some number range and I want to print, depends on the number range. I want to print it is big value or small value. Okay. Now, I'll use slash. If you don't use slash, all will be print in the same line. Now, depends on the number. If user enters some number, it will display, depends on the number, it should display the output. But do we have any control on that now? Can we control that output? So how a
No,
program
sir.
will work, how the program will work, it will execute the first statement and then the next available statement and the next available statement. Okay,
Yes.
whatever the statements available, it will execute in a sequence, right? It will execute in a sequence. So we don't have control here. How to, like, if you execute the program, what will happen? It will display all the outputs, small, medium and big. But I want to control this. If the number is specific number, for example, between 1 to 10, I want to print small. If it is 10 to 100, I want to print medium. And anything greater than 100, I want to print big. I need to
Big.
execute that big functionality. How can you control that? For that, we use
Controllers.
control statements. In ABAP, we call them control statements. So control statements are conditional statements to control the flow of the program. So by using control statements, what we can do? We can control the flow of the statements, right? Which statements should execute first and which statements should execute next. So which statements we need to skip? Which statements we need to skip depends on the condition, right? We can implement all of those conditions by using control statements, right? What are the control statements? Control statements are used to control the flow of ABAP program execution. Okay,
Law of execution. Yes, sir.
now we can see two control statements here. There are few other, we'll discuss that later. If statement. What is a if statement? If statement is a control statement. Okay, use it to control the flow of the program, right? By using if statement, we can check one condition or more conditions, multiple conditions also we can check. So if condition, we can use equal to, greater than, less than, between, right? All
Yes,
these
sir.
conditions we can use. We can use equal to. If variable equal to specific value, do this. If variable is greater than the value, do this. If the variable is less than this value, do this. We can specify all those here. What is the syntax of if statement? Observe this. This is the syntax. If, and here we mention the condition. What is the condition? There might be multiple conditions also, right? We need to check. In that case, we use else if a equal to b. If a equal to b, what you need to do? Else if a equal to c, what you need to do? Else if a equal to c, what you need to do? Else means, what is else? Else means if all the above conditions are false,
False.
then execute this. If
Yes,
all
sir.
the above conditions are false, then execute else. So what is the syntax? If, else if, else, and end if. Okay?
Yes, sir.
If condition. For example, we have already defined a variable lv underscore some marks. If lv underscore marks equal to 100,
35.
maybe, yeah, 35, execute some functionality. Not only write statement, you can execute any functionality. Write pass. Else if one more true statement. If you are checking for one more true statement, else if lv underscore marks less than 35. Right? Fail. Right? I'm checking for one more statement. Else if marks is greater than or maybe equal to 100. Else.
Sir, we can't see screen.
Okay, can't you see my screen? Is it same for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me share again.
No, sir.
It's visible now, sir.
Visible now? Okay. Can you see now?
Sir,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If marks equal to 35, I want to execute pass functionality. If marks are less than 35, I want to execute fail. If marks are equal to 100, I want to execute full. If all the above statements are false, marks is not equal to 35 and marks are not less than 35 and marks are not equal to 100. Three statements are failed. Then which statement will execute?
Else statement.
Else
Else
statement will
statement.
execute. So you will be having multiple else if statements, and only one else statement. And if
And if
write some unknown functionality. Okay, like that we can use if statement. Okay, here observe, can we have multiple true statements? Can we have multiple true statements in if statements? No, you should not maintain multiple true statements. You should not maintain multiple true statements in if statements. For example, like this, marks equal to 35. That is one statement. In else if statement, I am taking like this, marks are greater than 34. Marks are greater than or equal to 10. Now tell me, is there any duplicate statement here? Is there any statement which is duplicate? Because we are checking the same thing again. Okay, here let's say the variable value is I'm passing some value 35. Now the variable contains value 35. Now observe, in the first statement I am checking if LV underscore marks equal to 35. Is it true or not? Is this condition true or not?
Yes.
The value in
Yes,
the
sir.
variable is 35. Assigned 35 value to the variable. Now this variable contains 35. So I'm checking, is this LV underscore marks equal to 35 or not? Is this true or not? True.
True.
Because I assigned 35, value 35 to the variable. This is true. Now let's check the second statement, ELSEIF statement. LV underscore marks is greater than 34. Is this true or not?
Yes, sir. True.
Is this greater than 35, 34 or not? 35.
Yes, yes, sir.
35,
True.
34, 35 is greater than 34, right? LV underscore marks contains value 35. That is greater than 35, 34. That is true. Observe the third statement, ELSEIF statement. Marks is greater than or equal to 10. Is this true statement or false statement? Greater than or equal to 10. This is greater than or equal to. Is this true statement or false statement? Ten is greater than 35 or not?
Yes, it's
So
true.
sorry, 35 is greater than 10 or not? Here you have
35.
35.
Yes.
Just assume this is
Yes.
variable. You have value 35. Tell me 35 is greater than 10 or not?
Yes.
True. These are called duplicate statements. These are called duplicate statements. So when you are implementing the if statement, you should make sure to write only unique statements. Okay? Should not write duplicate statements because only one true statement will be executed. Even if you write three true statements, is it going to execute all these three? In if statement,
No.
no. Only first true statement it will execute and complete the if statement. Okay? It will execute the
Yes, sir.
first true statement and complete the if statement. That's why you should not use multiple true conditions like this. If A equal to B, else if B equal to A. Duplicate statements are not. These two, if and else if.
Yeah. Yes.
A equal to B equal to E. Both are same, right?
Yes, sir.
These are duplicate statements. So we should avoid this kind of duplicate statements. Okay? When you are implementing the
Okay.
if statement. Now let's see how to write if statement. What is the syntax for if statement? If, else if, else, and if.
And
ENDIF.
My requirement is if value is less than 10, I'll print small. If it is greater than maybe if it is within 100, if it is within 100, I'll print medium. If it is greater than 100, I'll print big. For that we need to enter some value, right? For
Yes,
that I
sir.
need to, if I use variable, if you use some variable type I integer, if I use some variable and I will assign some value. Now this contains 20. If LV underscore value is less than
Are equal to 20.
or maybe less than or equal to, this is less than or equal to 20, that might be less than or equal to, that might be Like if it is 19 also, it will work. Okay, 19 or 20. Else if LV underscore value is greater than
20
20,
and
I'll show you. And first we'll complete some basic statement. Okay,
okay.
else if LV underscore value equal to 1000. I'll use equal to, since it's the first example, it should be very simple. Else if all the above statements are false, what will execute?
Else statement.
Unknown. Okay, I'll take very simple example so that everyone will follow. In the next example, we'll introduce more options. If value equal to 20, I'll print small. If value equal to 100, I'll print medium. If value equal to 1000, I'll print big. Now, what is the value we assigned? 20, right?
20.
Let me keep a breakpoint. I kept a breakpoint. Click on continue. Execute. LV underscore value is empty initially. Now F5, it will assign a value. F5 is for line by line execution. 20 value is assigned. Value 20 is assigned. Now it is executing the if statement. If, so which statement is true here? Which statement is true here? This one, right? First statement
State.
is true. Now,
If statement.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
the first statement is executing and displaying the output. Now I want to check with different value. What I need to do? Again, I need to go to program and change the value, right?
Yes, sir.
But this should work dynamically. This should not work like we should not go to program and change the values every time. So whatever the value we enters, the program should accept and display the output. Currently,
That's
do
the
we have any option to enter the input? We are using some fixed value. We are not
yes,
we are not entering our input, right, dynamically.
yes, sir.
Whatever the value we want, we don't have that option now. We fixed one value, that is 20, and we are using the value in the program, right? But I want an option to enter different values. Different values. Depends on my value, it should display the output. For that, what we use? To provide the input to the program, what we use?
Input to the program.
Parameters. Parameters are used to,
Take the input from the user runtime values.
okay? So this is used to provide the input to the program, okay?
Yes, sir.
It will accept only single value, okay? It will accept only single value.
Yes, sir.
Syntax to define the parameter. Whatever I am mentioning here in the capital letters are keywords. keywords you should use as it is. Parameters
Yes, sir.
p underscore name. This is naming convention. You can use any relevant name. For example, if it is name, use p underscore name. If it is employee ID, p underscore emp ID, like that. Okay, you can use any name, but always use some relevant name, specific name for your parameter. Follow some naming conventions. Okay, p underscore is also not mandatory. P underscore is also not mandatory. You can take any name, but how can you identify, is it a parameter or a variable, right? For our convenience, I'm using p underscore name, type the relevant data type and length. It is very similar to variable declaration. It is very similar to variable declaration, but here instead of parameter, what we use, sorry, instead of data statement, what we use,
Parameters.
parameters.
P.
We can also pass default values. We can also pass default values. We'll see in the program. Okay. Now let's change the program to accept inputs. I'm deleting this. I'm deleting the data declaration and the variable. What is the syntax to define a parameter?
P.
Parameters.
Parameters.
Parameter is equal to
P
P
and P underscore what is value,
value.
right? We'll
Value.
take some
Yes.
value or any name. Okay. Type I. For
In
integer,
Int
we
I.
don't need to assign any length. If it is character, same length, some 10. Okay. If it is number,
Okay.
provide the length. Now this value, I'm going to use it in the
P
statement, if
P
statement,
value.
right? Now let's observe. Activate the program. Keep a breakpoint. Now, is it directly displaying the output? Is it directly
No.
displaying the output?
No, right.
What is this screen? This is called selection screen. This is called
Selection
selection
screen.
screen. Selection screen. Okay. Okay. So parameters will be
Yes.
displayed in selection screen to enter the inputs.
Inputs.
There might be multiple parameters also, not only single parameter. There might be multiple inputs also possible. Okay. But for each parameter, how many values you can enter?
One.
One value, one single value we can enter. Type integer type, take integer type. Execute. Now enter some value 10. Execute 10. 10, we did not have that condition, right? For 10, we are
Yes,
checking
sir.
p underscore value equal to 20, p underscore value equal to 1000, p underscore value equal to 100. Then which statement it will execute?
Else part.
Else part will execute because all the above statements are
False.
false. Else statement is executing and it will print unknown. Now I'll change the value 20. First statement will execute because the value is 20.
Exactly
uh,
20.
1000 big. So depends on the value, it will automatically execute that specific condition. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Let me take condition like this. P underscore value uh, less than 100. P underscore value less than 100. Then is there any duplicate statement here?
No.
If we enter 20, let's say your input is 20. Now, how many true statements are here for 20? First is
Two.
true statement, value equal to 20. Second is also true, right? 100 is
Yes,
value
sir.
less than 100. 20 is less than 100 only, right? This is
Yes,
also
sir.
true statement, right? Which statement will execute, or both statements will execute? Let's check.
If statement is executed.
20. First statement is executing.
Yes, sir.
And is it executing second statement? Let's check. No, it is not. Okay, it will execute only first true statement. Okay,
Yes, sir.
if you keep this statement in the here, this statement will be executed. Now I will define one simple range. If value is less than or equal to 100, sorry, 10, I want to print a small, less than or equal to, then this value will be from 1 to 10.
10.
Here less than or equal to 100. Is it a proper statement? Then less than or equal to means it will be like this, 1 to 100.
100.
If you enter 8 or 9, then both statements will be duplicate statements, right?
Yes, sir.
Then what we need to do?
First true statement
Greater
will be
than
exit.
10, greater than 10, and p underscore value less than or equal to, sorry,
100.
less than 101. Now what is this? Between 11 to 100. Less than 101 means 100 only, right? Now both statements should be true. Both statements should be true. This value should be greater than 10. That means 11. And value should be less than 100. In between 11 and 100. Then medium statement will execute. Clear? You can use and like this, and statement. And anything which is greater than 101, that is big. You can use or also. There is slight difference, like when we are using and or. And when you are using and, both should be true. Both should be true when you use and. If you use or, if any of these two statement is true, this will execute. This might be true, or this might be true. So this statement will execute. But when you use and, both statements should be true. Okay, clear? So we are going to use if statements very frequently in our programs. Please concentrate. I'll show you one more thing. I'm executing the program. So what is the name it is displaying here? What is this name? P underscore value. Parameter name, right? This is parameter name, right?
Yes, sir.
But because you are a developer, you know like what is the value we are for which value we are using for. But when you provided this program to the user, so is he able to see this screen? When we create the
No, sir.
transaction code, he will directly see this screen, selection screen. Now
Yes,
he
sir.
needs to enter some value here, right? Then by looking at this, how can he know, or he or she know, what is the value they need to enter? Value means what value? Which value? Is it amount? Is it a weight? Is it a distance? Right? What value they need to enter? There is no clarity, right, for them?
Yes, sir.
There is no clarity. It is displaying the technical name. It is displaying the parameter technical name. For that, we can add a label, field label, for easy understanding of the user. For that, we have an option in go to text elements. Go to text elements, or you have a shortcut button here, text elements. Go to
Yes.
text elements. Selection text. Click on selection text. Go to selection text. You can see your parameter name here automatically, right? I'll say that some marks. I'll say that some marks. Now activate this. Activate this selection text and go back. Now execute the program. Now instead of the parameter technical name, what it is displaying?
Label name.
Label name. Now it is easy, right? For the user. Okay,
Yes,
he can easily
yes, sir.
understand that, okay, he needs to enter marks, right?
Yes, sir.
So for that reason, we use text elements selection text for all the inputs. For all the input parameters, we maintain this selection text. Okay, that is mandatory.
Yes, sir.
Program will work even without selection text, but that doesn't look good for the end user. Okay, now
Okay.
I'm executing the program. I'm not entering any input. I'm executing. It is considering it as 0 and it is displaying small, right? Did I enter any input? Did I enter any
No.
input? No. Is this a proper calculation?
No, sir.
I did not enter any value. Still it is calculated some random output. That should not happen,
Yes, sir.
right? So we should restrict the user to enter input.
Anything.
We should not restrict for every input. We should not restrict for every input, but there are some mandatory inputs which are required to execute the program. For those kind of inputs, we should restrict the user not to execute without entering the input.
Good.
There might be multiple inputs here in the selection screen. All of those inputs may not be mandatory, but few inputs should be mandatory, which are highly needed in the calculations, right? How can you restrict the
Some.
user to enter the input? There are multiple ways. We have a statement called obligatory. Same for the parameter statement, right? Give a single
Yes, sir.
space and enter obligatory.
Obligatory.
What is this obligatory? Obligatory means this is a mandatory input.
Man.
Without entering this input, you cannot execute the program. Let's try this. Activate the program. Now you can see some asterisk symbol,
Star
star
mark.
symbol here. That means
Yes, sir.
this is a mandatory input. Without entering this, you cannot proceed further. Let's execute. What it is saying? Make an entry in the mandatory field mark. Right? So without
Yes, sir.
entering the value, we cannot proceed further. It won't allow you to proceed further. It will allow only when you enter the value. Execute. It will allow. That is called obligatory. There is one more option. There is one more option. Most of the times your input is same. Most of the times your input is same. For example, some name or date. Most of the time You are using the same input to execute the program. So instead of entering every time, you can make it as a default value. You can make it as a default value. Since we have only single input here, it is very easy to enter. But in general, programs might have multiple inputs, 10 or 20 input fields also. It is difficult to enter every time, right? When you are
Yes,
using
sir.
the same values again and again, then we can make it as a default value by using a default keyword. Default, for example, some 20 by using default. You can use obligatory and default separately. You don't need to use together, okay? If you don't want to make it as a mandatory field, you can remove obligatory. Now execute the program. 20 is displaying by default, right?
Yes, sir.
It will display the value, but if you want to try with a different value, you can change it. Okay? You can change it. Default value nothing but you should execute with the same value. You can also change the default value. Okay? Clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Now, so everyone clear about if statement?
Yes, sir.
Now we'll see case statement. What is case statement? Case statement is also a conditional statement to control the flow of the ABAP program. Case statement is also a conditional statement. But when we use case statement, in case statement we can use equal to, only equal to statements. Only equal to statements we can use in case statements. But here in if statement, we can use greater than, less than, and in between, right? We can check these conditions. But in case statements, we can use only equal to, right? For defined values like weeks, gender, months, for these kind of statements, we can use a case statement, right? When
Yes, sir.
week equal to Monday, week equal to Tuesday, week equal to Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's it, right? Only 7 weeks. Equal to.
Yes, sir.
But can
Which
we use
means
it for values? Can we use it for values? When
no, sir.
salary equal to 100, when salary equal to 101, when salary equal to 102. How many statements we need to write like that in if statements? Sorry, in case statements. Thousands of statements, right?
Yes, sir.
So we use case statement for equal to scenarios and for defined values like months, gender, weeks, right?
Sir. Exact
Kind of
values.
fixed values. Yes, exact values. But
Yes, sir.
values we cannot define, right? Values we cannot define, right? Value can be anything. So that for that reason we can use greater than, less than, equal to, between, right? Those kind of statements in if. So when we are dealing with undefined values, unknown values, we use if statements, right?
Statements.
But can we use if statements for defined values like weeks and months? We can use. We can use, right? We can use equal to also, right? In if statement, we can use, right? But generally for defined values, for fixed values, we go for case statement.
Case. Sir.
Okay. Now, how to write case statement? Let me change the program. I'll take C. I'll make it obligatory. So what is the syntax for case statement? This is the syntax for case statement. Case, variable name, case, variable name, and when 1, when 2, when 3, when 4, when 5. When others means when all the above statements are false,
False.
then others will execute. And end case. case and end case. In between the case and end case, we have when. Okay, when. Is it mandatory to use when others? That's not mandatory. Okay. In if statement else or in case statement when others, that is not mandatory, but it is recommended. When all the above statements are false, we should handle that unknown scenario, right?
Yes, sir.
For that reason, we use else in if statement or others in case statement, but they are not mandatory. Okay. In if statement, you can simply like this also. If lv underscore value equal to 10, and if. You can also write like this, right? You don't need to use else conditions every time. It depends on your requirement. If you need to check multiple conditions, then only you use else if. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
Now let's implement a case statement. What is the syntax? Case p underscore. Let me change it as some week p underscore week end case and when 1. Is it a character or it's a character type, right? Use single quotes.
Yes, sir.
Since it is a character type value, use single quotes. When 1, write Monday.
John. Weeks.
When 2, Tuesday. When 3, Friday. I'm almost tired. Okay. 4, 5, and 6, 7. Sunday. Okay. Pretty printer to align the text. Now, when others, other than all these values, if user enters a different values, right? Unknown. Okay. Check the syntax. Others, not other, others. Okay. Activate. Activated the program. Now we have changed the parameter name, right? We changed the parameter name. That's why we need to maintain a text element again. Go to selection text. You can delete this because we are not using this anymore. P underscore week number. Activate the text element, selection text. Go back, activate the program. Now every when will check for equal to. Okay, this means equal to. It won't check for greater than, less than values. Okay, it will accept
Yes, sir.
only equal to. Activate the program, execute, enter 2 or 3, Wednesday. If I enter 8, unknown. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
For these kind of defined values, you can use a case statement, right?
Yes.
Here, you can execute any kind of functionality, including data selections, some calculations, function calls, whatever, which is required for your business requirement. Okay.
Okay.
These are simple statements, but we use these statements very frequently in our programs. You have already observed sub RC check, right? If sub RC equal to 0. So practice these control statements. We'll see few other statements. There are few other simple statements we have, and then we'll continue with data selections like using select statements. Okay. These are basics. Please practice. So going forward, we are not going to discuss in detail about these statements. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And I have an assignment for you guys. Let me show you that assignment. That is related to data dictionary. Hmm. I want you to create database tables. I want you to create database tables. For example, some hospital management system. Maybe we'll take some college example so that you can easily understand. So what are the usual activities in any college? Admissions, exams, results, right? So let's create table for, I'll give you a simple assignment. Student master data. You don't need to take same field names. You can take your own names. Branch, student ID, student name, and branch. For this, create check tables. This check table contains only student ID. Only student ID. Maintain all the student IDs in this table. This contains only one field, student ID. That's it. That is the primary key itself. And create one more table. Branch. Okay. And one more table. Student attendance. Student ID. Some date. Mm, I'm taking it as attendance date and status. In the status, student ID, student number, attendance date, you need to maintain the attendance date, and then the status, what you need to maintain?
Present or absent.
Yeah, P or A.
Yeah.
Single values, that's it. Status should be a single value, character 1. That should
Okay.
present with P or A. Okay. Let me give you some sample values also. branch some CSC. Similarly, you need to maintain the master data in student ID table, and you need to maintain all the branches in branch master table, and you need to maintain 100 some date 26 August 2023 and pass dot fail sorry attended present or absence. Okay, PRA. You need to maintain values like this. Now these two are the master tables. Check table for branch. This is also check table for SID. These two are for foreign keys. Now link student ID using foreign key relationship, and also link branch with this branch check table using foreign key relationship. Here also link student ID with this in the student ID check table. In the status, right? In the status, don't maintain check table. Go to in the status level, you have domain, right? Create one domain for status. Inside the domain, maintain fixed values. What values you need to maintain? P and A. Maintain the fixed values in the domain level. Okay? You have fixed values option, right? In domain level. Yes or no? When you are creating the domain in value ranges, you can have fixed values, right? There we maintain
Yes, sir.
P or
Single value.
P and A. Okay? P and A.
Yes, sir.
These two
Yes, sir.
entries maintain so that you can select only those two. Okay? Is everyone clear?
Okay.
Now what are the foreign key tables here? This is foreign key table. This is also a foreign key table. These two are the check tables. Okay? Clear? Create
Yes,
these
sir.
tables. Create these tables. Any questions? And assign the relevant foreign key relationships. I'll check. Okay, I'll check every one of your object. Please maintain your own naming conventions with your own naming conventions. Okay, mention your name
Okay.
or something. Every one of your object should be unique. Like names should be unique. Complete this assignment. I'll check this. Okay then.
Yes, sir.